Dementia and Alzheimer's are frequently confused by families doing care for persons with dementia. Dementia itself is not the name of a disease. It is an umbrella term for a group of diseases. Families get confused about my loved one has dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and their loved one actually has dementia of the Alzheimer's type. Dementia is an umbrella term. It means that we are talking about one of 48 identified diseases, and to be a dementia, the disease must be in 2 of the 4 lobes of the brain. It must be progressive, meaning your loved one will not get better. It must interfere with your person's ability to function, and to be a dementia, it must be a terminal illness. Alzheimer's is the largest of the dementia group. There are forms of dementia that are inherited. The Huntington's group, for example. This is passed genetically from the parent to the child. Other forms of dementia, no one's quite sure about yet. We do have some testing that will allow us to see whether or not you have a gene, but we can't tell you whether that gene will turn on. Most physicians won't do that testing for someone because you don't want to spend the next 40 years of your life wondering if what you're doing is normal or did you just begin to have dementia. For example, walking into a room, not dementia. Forgetting what you walked into the room for, still not dementia. One of the things that's challenging for families of people with dementia is trying to understand where they are. The way that we treat people now is that we finally understand your loved one's reality is our reality. If your loved one thinks she's 30 years old with 5 small children, then your 77-year-old mother is 30 years old with 5 small children. If she thinks it's 1943 and she's a secretary to a general at the War Department, you need to know the War Department is now called the Pentagon. Your loved one is doing the best they can at the time with what brain cells are functioning. They're not trying to mess up your life. They're not trying to make it difficult. They're not lying and they're not pretending. Both of those things take a 3-pound brain. Your loved one is doing the best they can with what is happening to their brain and with the healthy tissue that is still left. When you talk to your loved one, we can't talk about what date today is in terms of the year because it's hard for someone who thinks it's 1943 to believe that it's 2018. Think about yourself. What if everyone insisted the year was 2038? It would scare you. It would make you paranoid. Where is everything you've known? Why don't you remember 20 years of your life? It's the same for a person with dementia. As the disease progresses and memory begins to go backwards in time, the person goes backwards in time. The person that you knew as your mother may not remember you now because what's left in her brain was there before you were born, so there are no memories of you now. Dementias are like infection. They move from cell to cell in the brain. As they enter the cell, they disrupt it, and eventually it causes the cell to starve and die. When the brain cell dies, it's removed from the body and waste. If a loved one lives to the end of dementia, there's only a pound of brain tissue left when there should be 3 pounds. Everything your loved one does, they're doing because of what's in their brain. And the easiest and best way for us to work with them is to be where they are right now and not try to force them to be where we are.